Hello and welcome to Freenhalt's Let's Play Towns. This is version 0.7. This is the newest patch. In case you don't know what Towns is a real-time strategy game where you play as the mayor of a brand new fledgling town. You are given 11 citizens to start with, as denoted up here, and your goal is to build a town, thriving town, so that dungeon explorers and heroes can eventually come and gain loot. So it's kind of like reverse Torchlight, where you play as the townies and the computer will generate heroes that go and get everyone killed. So essentially what we need to do first is we need to kind of plan out where we are, analyze what we have, and then see where's the best place to start building. In this game, you cannot give direct orders to your townies in the sense of person A go here, person B do this. You pretty much just kind of give general directives, and someone will run out and do them. For instance here, we can go ahead and let's go ahead and click on the harvest button here, and we're going to collect a little bit of this wheat right here. There's just a little bit around, see if there's some in the proximity, another batch there, another batch there, another batch there. And then we'll go ahead and unpause the game, and we'll see that people just run out. So it gives an order to each person, but we don't get to pick. So that's a very important dynamic to this game. I'm going to pause again, because you don't necessarily get the chance to pick where they're going. There's no leveling up either, so you don't have to worry about that. People just do what they're supposed to do, and hopefully do not die on you. Alright, so we've got a little bit of a hill right here. I don't really care for hills, but we'll just have to make do. Kind of just really looking around. We got a lot of wheat next to us. I thought I saw, yes, we have iron on the surface. That'll be very useful. Quite a bit of trees. Something to note down here would be the jungle. This is probably one of the early game death areas. Oh, there's our little froggies. They just want to kill you. Just want to kill you and protect their bananas, although that weave is tempting. So there is a land bridge, and there is a second jungle over here, which is just as bad because now we also have brownie warriors. So we're going to really have to keep an eye on where our area is. So we're probably going to want to move all of our people up here. And there's only one really good way to move everybody, because like I said, you really don't get the option of picking where they go. So we're going to give them a till order, and we're going to give them a large enough order that it's going to force everyone up here. So we'll go ahead and plop it down just like that. Everyone's going to finish grabbing the wheat, and then all the townies are going to run. And as you can see, each level you move with the mouse wheel shows you a different plane. That way you're not constantly interacting with all of the terrain all at once. That's really a perk, because it lets you do precise building in this game, in the grid system, but it's also really quite an annoyance because you have to be zoomed out to see in case something terrible spawns up on top of a hill next to you. Ergo, why I don't like hills. Alright, so while our people are taking the time to till the ground, we'll just go ahead and backlog them with a little bit of work here. Grab that wheat. You know, there's some wheat here, and here, and here. And what they're just going to do is they're just going to pick up the wheat and throw it right on the ground, because there's nowhere to put it. So we should probably go ahead and use a stockpile. Grab some raw food here. It's going to make a little area where they're going to put all the raw food. And we can also do the same thing with raw materials. So they're just going to throw all that raw materials that they get whenever they get them, like this stone, for example. Tell them to grab that stone. And as you'll notice, it only highlights the area we're in, essentially. Very good. We got some pigs here, Venus flytraps that want to eat your people. They just kind of hurt them. They don't necessarily do anything. So let's have a look down here. I've kind of been doing things that I haven't been explaining, so to speak. But on the right side here are the things that you can build, the things that you can make your townies do. For example, you can have them build walls. Here's the different types of walls. Utilities. Like, you can't just put a carpenter's bench in the middle of the floor. That does not work in this game. So we have to build a carpentry area and stuff like that. Masonry area, a baking area, etc., etc. There's different types of buildings. We'll get into those in a moment. Roads, furniture, decorative, containers. Containers are probably the single most useful. Instead of having one thing on one tile for a zone, we can put them in barrels or chests to stack up to at least 10. So that's a very good way to get efficient with your space. And then buildings, this is something I know that they kind of want to work out, but at the moment they're still in the game. Mills are probably one of the most important basic game items. This lets you take your wheat that you get, and then you go ahead and throw it into the mill, and you get flour. And then mine shafts, you put these on top of ore, and it just constantly churns out some ore. It's essentially an infinite mine shaft. You don't have to send anyone over there. It's completely automatic. So that makes your life very useful, but it's slow. So if you do need iron in a burst, then you're going to have to just mine it at the cost of never having it ever again. And the thing with the mine shaft, it has to be on a 2x2 square of ore. So for example, I know the ore is right here. There is not a 2x2 except for this area here, so I'd be required to mine the top block so that I can get down to the surface such. Okay. So let's go ahead and we can tell them to plant wheat. In this game you can hold shift and it lets you retain the order, which is very useful. So we're just going to tell them we want three things of wheat. That'll be very good so we don't starve to death. And we can plant apple trees and pear trees if we could find some, so there's a few over here. Those will be very useful for our survival. So let's just a few more wheat orders here. And I thought I saw some wheat on top of a hill. Oh, that pig tastes delicious. Wheat, that's right. And we go. Alright, and we'll just unpause the game. We'll let our townsfolk, roam forth to gain everlasting wheat. So while they're going around there doing that, let's just explain the bottom menu. You have your harvest menu, chop, cut, dig, mine, till. The difference between these two is horizontal versus vertical mining. Dig, as you can assume, goes down. Mine goes across. Till, that's how we got this. And then you have your stockpile zones. This is for getting rid of scaffolding. And if you've played the older versions of Towns, you probably don't know what scaffolding is. Essentially, they've decided that just having roofs built automatically is a terrible idea. And it kind of is, because if you want to have multi-tiered buildings, you're never ever going to get them if the roof's built. So you have to have some method of being able to have temporary blocks for your people to move on. Because they can't put a block on top of themselves. Someone else can, but that kind of kills you because you get crushed beneath the block. I'm going to pause one more time here for a little bit, just because I want to get into this side. Now, I don't have this side up just because I think that it makes the clutter of the UI just really bad. But right in here, we can have, essentially these are doing things, orders, so to speak, of like commercial orientation. This is the food screen. So here we can have gathering, automatic butchering, automatic baking, and automatic cooking. So this kind of gives everyone a general, like, you know, if we're low on food, you should bake it, kind of order like that. So we'll go into trees and plants, and the left side here says, this is for you. Let's say I only want 5 wheat. Well, they'll go and they'll get 5 wheat out of the farm, and that's it. It'll just tick it down one by one. The left side is a standing order. So say, for example, we always want to have at least 1 wheat on the ground. And you'll see this just updated to 1. Because it knows that we don't have any, it'll actually display a number on the icon. So it's going to go ahead and give the townies a general order to harvest 1 wheat as soon as possible and put it on the ground or in storage. But for us, what's going to happen is, because we have this outstanding order to farm, so it's going to cause the townies to grab the wheat that grows, instantly pick it up, throw it on the ground, and then go, oh, we can plant this, and then they'll fill in the farm. That way we don't have to sit here and micromanage them through the farming state, and that allows us to, you know, essentially do other things. And you can do this for any type. Now, we can't get apples unless we actually are growing our own apples. So, as you may have seen over on the side here, wow, this is suddenly laggy. I apologize for that. Wow, this is really laggy. Apparently I'm trying to capture it too many frames or something. Gee whiz and willikers. I think I'm going to pause right here. Well, that was very weird. Okay, apparently we're taking a huge frame rate dump everywhere. but I suppose that really can't be helped. I'm going to have to analyze that. So this video probably won't be public for the time being. But we'll continue on, just for the sake of continuing on and gaining experience, I should believe. Okay, so we were going ahead and we were talking about apple trees. And now I can't find a single apple tree, which is kind of depressing, because apple and pear trees are very important to early game food problems. Because it's essentially instant, ready-to-eat food. You don't have to do things with it like flour. Like, here we go. Here is a large apple and pear orchard. This is something that we definitely would be excited about. Now, we can't just tell the townies to automatically go ahead and to pick the apples, for example, because it's not on our farm. We have to essentially give them a harvest order down here, select the trees, they'll grab the fruit, and then we can tell them to plant the trees on this side. Once anything is planted, it's essentially ours for the making. And that's very useful. There's different things, you know, building materials like tongs, things like that are just meticulous as part of building orders to make your life miserable. You can set to always have available. You know, like trees, you know, who doesn't want just always to have trees lying around? Or hats. We need hats. Everyone needs hats. But okay, now that the frame rate seems to not be taking a dump anymore, we can go right ahead and just keep on going. So, we're just going to unpause, and we're going to stand around and let them just kind of wander for a few minutes here. And we're going to have a look at the zones in the game while they go ahead and continue to farm up, so to speak. So this is probably one of the earliest zones you can actually build realistically. This is the carpentry bench. The carpentry bench is responsible for letting you build other things later in the game. I lost my train of thought. That was fascinating. As you notice, it's giving me a red screen there. That's because we were trying to build the carpentry area in the air. That is not allowed. You can't have floating areas. This is the carpentry bench. I'm sorry, that was just a carpentry zone, and something has died. That's kind of a terrifying thought. Chicken dies. That sounds threatening. So here's the carpenter bench, and everything faces towards you, so to speak. So they're going to use it facing towards this way. So we need to plan out our area just a little bit, so that way we don't clog it up. So we're just going to tell them to build a few carpentry areas here. Wood detailer allows for advanced items, which you absolutely has to have. And as you can tell, this requires a carpenter's bench. Now, the carpenter's bench requires 2 wood. They're just going to take the wood onto themselves, and then they're going to magically craft a carpenter's bench. But in order to get the wood, we have to chop down some trees. Surprising. So let's go ahead and just give a general chop order here. And because they can't farm, but they want to, they're just going to go ahead and start chopping trees until there is a wheat harvest. These trees, we don't need these trees. They're kind of shady looking anyway. Growing directly next to our area. Oh, this rooster here. Okay, there we go. It's not a lot of wood, but it's a significant amount right now. One thing you can do is you can grow tree farms, as I alluded to earlier. And when you cut the trees down, get this, just makes a bush. You cut the tree into a bush that regrows, which is genius. I've thought about going outside and trying that myself. I don't know if that would work. I don't exactly know how you cut a tree into a bush, but I am completely and utterly willing to find out. All for the sake of science, of course. So our townspeople are going to be lazy, and they're going to leave the wood on the ground. The way we can make them not lazy is this is a priorities panel. This is essentially how they judge which orders are more important to their life. Right now, baking and cooking is the single most important thing to them. We're not really baking at the moment, so we can go ahead and knock that down. We want them to bring the wood that they're chopping back to our base to put into the storage area, so let's go ahead and move that up substantially. We're not killing things, we're not building walls, we're not making items. We want them to have some food. Tilling and chopping, well, that sounds important right now. Item gathering and harvesting. So we'll just go ahead and, I guess food can be 5. There we go. So now they should prioritize bringing materials back to the base. Why that's a good thing is just because simply they don't have to go as far. They have to travel half the map distance every single time just to go and get wood. It's not going to be very exciting. So I think right now I'm going to stop. I'm going to try to analyze why my frame rate is taking a dump just trying to record with fraps. And then we'll get back to this. Hopefully we won't have missed too much. I don't think we will. I'll start a different map to test. But just, oh my god, this is not the best time right here. Okay, so apparently we have found a tree keeper, and it has destroyed one of the townies. This is something that's new into the game that I totally keep forgetting about. You need to be careful with your chopping orders. Usually this isn't an issue. They're not very strong bosses at all. But this one apparently hit just enough times to kill her. Jeez. Merwin. No, this looks like Isolde has died. Crazy. Well, that's not exactly the best place you want to go, but there's going to be a lot of gyrating right here as they fight. And he's dead. And he's dead. And that's embarrassing that there were 5 people there and they could not kill the tree. Oh, we got another tree keeper here. And this is going to suck because Merwin is bruised. She's not the most healthiest thing in the world right now. The other townies do not seem to care. They're more involved in sleeping with their freshly cut logs. And we're just going to have a lot of gyrating. Well, the tree keeper is... I don't know. This is a race here. Let's hope to God. Oh, God. This is not good. Okay, so we've barely even started. I think we're 15 minutes in, if that, with the pausing. And, my God, everyone's dying to trees. It's... oh, jeez. The other problem here is that these human corpses are going to start spawning ghosts unless I cheat, and I'm not into the cheating mood because this is kind of legit. Yes, yes. We're going to kill the tree and then sleep next to the dead bodies. I love this. I totally love this. Okay, well, I don't know where's a creepier place to end that makes so much sense. We're just going to, wow. We're just gonna sleep next to dead bodies. I guess it's near Halloween, so that's fine. But holy crap! All right, this is Freedhalt. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe. I don't know how often we'll be able to do this, but depending on how many people decide to watch these things, I think we can definitely pull a few of these off. A week. Okay. Thank you very much. All right. Bye bye.